Welcome back. This is episode 21 of the Veterinary Business Video Show, this show made possible with the support of RxWorks. In today's show, we'll look at another clip from the AAHA outlining the 3 fundamental steps you need to improve compliance in your practice. We'll take a closer look at the services offered by RxWorks, and I'll show you a website promoting the services of a major veterinary hospital in London, and which you might use as a template to promote your own practice online. We'll discuss a free business tool that you can use to review the communication skills of the veterinarians in your practice consulting rooms, and I'll let you have my quick business tip for this episode. I'm John Sheridan, and this is the show that helps practice owners, managers and clinicians just like you to build your successful practice into a great business. In episode 20 of the video show, we looked at a video clip in which John Albers, Executive Director of the AAHA, summarized the findings of a recent study to see how veterinary practices have addressed the problem of non-compliance in veterinary practice. The good news was that many practice owners and managers have achieved major measurable improvements in practice performance without the need to take on more staff, spend more money, or work much harder and longer. You can do the same. Here's another clip featuring John Albers in which he explains the 3 fundamental steps which veterinary practices have found to be essential to overcome some of the problems which have resulted from poor compliance in practice.
So there's three kind of fundamental steps that people can take. First of all, it's very important that the staff get together, the professional team get together, and come to agreement on what their healthcare recommendations are, and to be very specific, so that if it's an indoor cat, perhaps the recommendations are different from an outdoor cat. But be specific about recommendations for vaccinations, frequency of examination, at what age should a senior pet receive some screening lab work, and then to make those recommendations or those protocols, those guidelines for that practice, make everybody on the staff aware of what they are. The second thing is some communication and education training for the staff. Again, we can tell our clients, your pet should have an annual heartworm test. But if we leave it at that and don't explain to the client what the benefit of that test is and how it'll enhance that pet's chance for living without heartworm disease or other kinds of parasites, that's when we get actionable steps. But probably the most important tool we found in these practices that had increased compliance is simply making up a pre-arrival checklist. And what that entailed was to come up with a list of all the recommendations that the practice had, and then before the client arrives, to have that record pulled and have somebody on the staff go through that record and check to see, is this patient in compliance with all of the things we recommend? And when the client comes in the door, perhaps for a rabies vaccine, then the client service specialist can say, I was going through your record and I noticed that we're a bit past due on the heartworm test. So if you like, we can have the technician draw the blood and we'll have